We've had a number of questions about the therapeutic methodology that I'm using in my In Therapy series. So I thought I'd do a little video talking about some of the key principles within that. One of the questions we've had is, Alex, how do you get to great places so quick? I've been in therapy on and off for years. It feels like in 8 sessions, you get them to progress so much. I feel like traumatic experiences need so much more unpacking than 8 sessions. Am I missing something here? Thank you so much for your content. So firstly, thank you for your question. For therapeutic work to be effective, there are 3 critical ingredients. There is the client and how the client shows up. There is the practitioner and how the practitioner shows up and the skills that they bring. And then there is the therapeutic methodology that the practitioner is using. And so in the context of In Therapy, let's just talk a little bit about each of those ingredients. Firstly, we do a careful selection process of the clients that come in. The primary thing that I'm looking for in those clients, obviously the production team have their own requirements as well, but the primary thing that I'm looking for is, does it feel like this person is at an inflection point in their life where they are really committed to doing the work to change? Sometimes people pay lip service to wanting to change. Sometimes people are stuck in a story about why they don't like their life the way that it is. Sometimes people have sort of dabbled and tried a bunch of things. But for change really to happen, someone needs to have reached a point where they have had enough of how things are. And there is enough kind of early signs of some courage and bravery to face what's going on that then really facilitates that change process. So we are intentionally bringing people in that have that commitment to do the work. In terms of myself as the practitioner, I have been doing this work for well over 20 years. I have been really obsessed by a single question for over a quarter of a century, which is, what is the most effective framework for creating lasting change? And I have become, I hope, proficient in my skills as a practitioner. But the third piece, which I think is probably the piece that's most important in answering this question, is the methodology. And that methodology is therapeutic coaching. Therapeutic coaching integrates key pieces of a psychotherapeutic approach with a solution-based coaching methodology. Our belief system is that our clients are not broken. They're not dysfunctional. They've not got issues or problems. What's happened is people have learned adaptive responses to respond to what's happened in childhood, be those overtly, obviously traumatic experiences or those more subtle, covert experiences. But we've all done the best we can to make sense of ourselves, to make sense of other people, to make sense of the world. But often the ways that we've done that have challenges, have limitations. And so in therapeutic coaching, we're both on our adult chair and we are empowering the clients. We are teaching them tools, strategies, ways to learn, to better regulate their nervous system, to defend against their inner critic, to work on their anxiety patterns, their ways of seeing the world that may disempower them. And because we have this solution-based approach, which includes daily practices that the client does, we may do 8 sessions over typically probably around 12, 16 weeks, something like that. But over that time, there's many hours of work that the client is doing, which goes back to my first point about having a client that's going to be committed to really doing that work. And it's those practices, those tools that the client is using, which are really accelerating that process. So therapeutic coaching is fundamentally different to other approaches. It's different to a psychotherapeutic approach for the reasons we just talked about, but it's also different to a coaching approach where it's not just trying to have goals and solutions. We're really understanding how and why the past has impacted and shaped people the ways that it has, and tactically working to change that. If you'd like to learn more about therapeutic coaching, maybe even training to become a practitioner in therapeutic coaching, you can go to therapeuticcoaching.com to find out more about this methodology. I hope that's been helpful. Thank you for watching.